Good morning, everyone. We are suffering a bit of allergy on this side of the fence. Apologies for that, but I do have all of my notes written down on the phone in front of me. We've seen a great Austin GP. Nothing that surprised me, but we are going to get into the nitty-gritty of Lando's start, Charles's tyre wear, and the move at turn 12. So if you're interested in what my thoughts are, definitely keep watching. All right, guys, now we need to talk about the start and Lando's defense. Now, has anyone seen my video that I've put out a couple of days ago, or maybe even a week ago, on what Lando needs to do to win this championship? We spoke about this exact situation. So we're talking about starts. Lando starting on pole. He's going to obviously be starting on the racing line. And a couple of things that I'm looking for here. Number one, does he shoot across to the inside and try to find this piece of track here so that he can then cover and defend anyone attacking him? We spoke about if Lando takes pole position and Max is on the inside, what does he need to do to keep the lead, keep pole position, and maintain that lead of the race? So what did we say? Well, we said Lando's holding two cards. He'd be holding pole position and the racing line, both of which are useless cards to hold. So you want to put those down and trade those cards because they're absolutely useless to you, and pick up the card that says, I'm now in the inside controlling turn one. That's the card you want to be holding, Lando Norris. What are you doing? So what did he do? Well, he didn't do exactly what I said he should do, which is angle his car across to the inside on the grid, that is, instead of lining up straight, line up slightly angled, shoot across to where Max Verstappen wants to go, and immediately make it clear that Max Verstappen, you're going to have to go around me, around the outside into turn one if you want to pass me. That's not what Lando did. And the rest is history. You give Max an inch, he will take 7 miles or 8 miles, because that's Max Verstappen, 3-time world champion. Put some respect on his name. So what does Max do? He gets a good start, or normal start even, pulls alongside Lando and forces the issue, gets to the inside and starts to control turn one, lap one, as Max Verstappen does. So Lando, you need to work on that, absolutely. I think it's too late now, guys. I think this is championship over. We're going to get to that a little bit later on. I know I've dropped a lot of bombshells in this video already, but this is how I really feel about it, because Lando's seen some of my content and my reels and he's not paying attention. So I think he needs to have an internal look. I'm going to leave you guys with a quote at the end of this video, which is going to speak to what Lando needs to do. Okay, now let's talk about the impact of Max getting up the inside. So we've seen the Ferrari is a good car, guys. I've spoken about this on this channel before, and I said when nothing was doing in Singapore, no DRS, no overtaking. It was a pretty quiet standard race. Bang, lap 42, Charles Leclerc, fastest lap of the race. That car is a good car, okay? I've been saying that for a while. Fastest lap in Singapore on lap 42, nothing doing. Great tyre management in Monza, wins that race. Baku, pole position, fought for the lead of that race. Won Monaco, won Melbourne. Guys, this Ferrari is a good car. So what I would be saying to Charles and Carlos is they also got to get into that championship mentality. The car's got a really strong front end on it, and tyre management was key, because obviously the track has significant width here in Austin. So multiple lines are possible. And Charles was driving the nice tight line that we spoke about into turn 8, 17, 18, 19 as well, all of the long right-handers on the track, and was looking after that left front beautifully. So what does that mean? So if Lando had have kept the lead into turn 1 and Max P2, guess what? The Ferraris start taking bites at Max Verstappen. Lando's off the hook. He can run free. He can just walk away and run his little normal race. The Ferrari, they, do their attacking on Max. They kind of lose their battery. They lose their tires. Their fuel strategy goes out the window a little bit. Again, Lando's off the hook. You could be looking at a first place for Lando Norris and a P4 for Max Verstappen. Guys, this is the difference between winning a championship and losing a championship. It's these little details off the line, exactly what we spoke about. Guys, that's the difference between profit and loss. And in this case, it is loss for Lando Norris because of the bad start. So like we said, the Ferrari is a good car. It's been a good car all year. The guys have shown every now and then that it's a championship-worthy car. I believe it's a championship-worthy car, as is the McLaren, as is the Red Bull, but it's Max Verstappen with the experience and just managing that championship and building a championship together. So good job by Max, obviously, to take points off Lando this weekend when he was out qualified. So where was Charles Leclerc looking after his tyres, and what was he doing compared to Lando, compared to Carlos and compared to Max as well. So if we look at Max for a second, he's a short corner, wide line driver. What does that mean, I hear you ask? Well, short corner, in a long corner of constant radius, like Hungary, last corner or second last corner, Max will execute a short corner technique. That is V off the corner, small rotation, fast in, fast out, all the usual stuff. But in a wide track or track of significant track width, like we have here in Austin, Max will go edge to edge. He will play edge to edge to edge to edge to edge, and that hurts your tires because you're covering more distance and more ground. What we've seen Charles do is the total opposite of that, driving beautiful tight lines into turn 8 and 17, 18, 19, as we saw from the onboards. Totally different to Carlos, by the way, who was also using edge to edge technique, and Lando was doing this as well, which was not good for his tires. We need to talk about strategy now. Leclerc taking the strategy by the neck. This is what I said in my Charles Leclerc video, how he can become world champion. He was saying things like, don't leave me out too long, and I'm thinking of plan C. Who's going to be the one to take the strategy on their own and almost drag the team with them and let the team build them a good car, but you need to do most of the racing operations yourself? So is that going to be Charles? Good stuff by Charles Leclerc. This is what we want to see, because we know Ferrari race operations, like if they get a chance to screw it up, they will probably screw it up. So this is good from Charles saying, here's what I want to do. Don't muck me around here, guys. So good. We're going to need to see that moving forward as well. Sainz undercuts Max Verstappen and Red Bull didn't defend. Why? Because we know Max is struggling with tire life. Why? Because he's taking wide lines and he is a wide line driver, edge to edge, wants to carry speed into the corner, but can easily overload the front tires. So he's been struggling with tire life, and he wanted to get that medium a little bit deeper into the race before he switched over to the hard tire. So McLaren could afford to pit later and create that delta. They were not under threat from anyone behind, so they could afford to extend that as much as possible. And as it turns out, when Oscar came out, I think it was in front of George, it was all timed beautifully. McLaren created the biggest delta that they possibly could without getting traffic. So now it's game on. My thumbnail for my video yesterday was, now's your chance. This was message to Lando Norris to say, now's your chance to take points off Max, because he took pole position. So great defense from Max, as you'd expect. We've documented Max's defense on this channel for a while now, so I didn't expect anything less there. And the overtake itself, yeah, I think it was clumsy from Lando to just go around the outside and expect that that move was going to stick. And here's a key point here, because in my Austria reel, I'm going to link it here because it's one of the shorts on YouTube as well. And I think it's very important because Lando Norris actually voted on the poll on this reel as well. And in Austria, I said, Lando completed a successful move up the inside of Max Verstappen on lap 62, I think it was. And he forced an error from Max. That is, he forced him off the track, and to keep the position around the track. Under those circumstances, Max Verstappen owes Lando that place back. Who is to blame between Lando Norris and Max Verstappen in the Austrian Grand Prix 2024? Well, let's go back a few laps, or one lap in fact. Accident happened on lap 64. Let's go back to lap 63 when Lando completed a successful move on Max Verstappen up the inside into turn 4, and he forced Max off the track. So according to the rules, Lando is entitled to that position back. Now, if you're Lando Norris at this point, heading into lap 64, you don't need to attack. You need to chill out. You've already done the hard work. You've already completed the successful overtake. Chill out, save your car, save your battery, save your tires, and just let the rules and regulations and everything just take care of itself. So what does Lando need to do? Not attack. You don't need to attack. You just need to let the rules and regulations take care of itself. Max owes you that place back. So it was really interesting to see that when Lando goes around the outside of Max, Max is like just chilling out. He's not re-attacking because he's totally reassured and totally confident that Lando owes him that place back. So what does he do? Saves a bit of battery, saves a bit of tires, tries to keep his tires in good condition, does what he needs to do for fuel, tires, battery, all that jazz, and just maintains within 5 seconds. Bang, checkmate. Lando has to give the place back and Max gets the podium. Lando, you voted on my reel and you voted incorrectly. You said that that was a bad call. And I said, Lando, you've made a successful pass. You don't need to re-attack at that point. So what does Lando need to do moving forward? Well, firstly, it's championship over, guys. This is it. This was Lando's only chance to steal some points off Max, both in the sprint and the main race. or this weekend altogether. It didn't happen. And the Red Bull's not too bad now. They've kind of recovered some ground. McLaren Flexi DRS days are over. That party is over. So I think they're in trouble now. I think this is it. This is championship over. Cameron, CC, go follow that guy. He's absolutely bang on. He said we do not bet against Max Verstappen on this channel. And absolutely, I think he's shown in this race that the championship is definitely in Max's favor due to some strong racecraft, right? What is racecraft? It is attack and defense. So how could Lando have got the job done, and what does he need to do moving forward? This is a key point here, guys. I think it's championship over. In the off season, Lando is going to need to get the right people in a room together in the house and go over all of these situations, go over the Austrias, go over the Hungarys, go over the Netherlands, go over the Spains. He's going to need to go over the Austin now as well. Going to need to go over them with a fine tooth comb and scrape through the details. A lot of the content's already documented on my channel. If you're interested in working with me, Lando, give me a call, drop me an email. He needs to do that and understand the rules of the game, understand the dynamics of the situation. Understand that if you go around the outside or you pass Max and he keeps a position around the outside, he owes you that place back. You don't need to attack again. And understand that the only way to pass, therefore, is attacking up the inside. And you got in trouble in Austria because you kept attacking around the outside and Max cooked you there. And here you're attacking around the outside and got cooked as well. So you've got to go for the inside. You've got to find a way to get to the inside. So I know that he'll say, well, it was hard and I couldn't quite get in there with the DRS and blah, blah, blah. The damage was done for you at turn 8 because you were taking a very wide line into turn 8 and you were suffering trying to get that front left into turn 8. It was not looking good. You could not get the front grip that you wanted from such a wide turn in with the dirty air coming from Max. So what you should have been doing is trying to find a good line through turn 8 that can allow you to get into the apex earlier, and then Max will pull you down to the hairpin with a little bit of a slipstream, and bang, you're close enough, is good enough. You would have driven clean past Max with the DRS and the battery and all that jazz. So why you couldn't get close enough was due to the turn 8. You were not taking the right line into turn 8, too much load on the left front, too much aero wash from Max. You need to offset your line and try to get into the apex earlier. Let the exit Max pull you down to the hairpin with the exit and the slipstream. So that's how you could have done it. And number 2, you could have made an effort to get to the inside. Obviously, Max is pulling to the inside. He's defending. I get it. But there's always a car width, my friend. You left the car width at turn 1, didn't you? You got burnt there. So you've got to make a conscious effort to just get to the inside. If it means you come together, like you come together, you've got to go for the inside. You've got to go for the inside and send it up the inside. So, like I said, what do you need to do? You need to get the right people and right team around you and go over the season together in the off season. You've got a busy off season ahead with study. And I'm going to leave you a quote, which I think that is relevant, which is going to teach you a lot about what the difference between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris is here. Why is one got the tools and the sharpness and the racecraft, and one just can't seem to get it done? It's in the mentality piece. I'm going to read you a quote here, and you'll like this one. It says, "A lion is not the biggest animal in the jungle. The elephant is perhaps the biggest. A lion is not the fastest animal in the jungle. The cheetah is perhaps the fastest. A lion is not the smartest animal in the jungle either. The great ape is perhaps the brainiest. Unlike packs of wolves or hyenas that hunt and intimidate with numbers, a lion is a loner. So if a lion is not the biggest, fastest, or smartest, what makes him the king of the jungle? Mentality." I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a question or thought in the comments section below. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.